Nagpur, incidentally, is having the similar infrastructure story that Mumbai has seen in the last 10 years. Huge amount of money is being spent on infrastructure in Nagpur. And we believe that wherever infrastructure goes, development has to follow.
What is the reason for venturing into plotted development?
With infrastructure improving and the government of Maharashtra putting huge amount of emphasis in putting up new roads and improving connectivity across the length and breadth of the city, the regions outside Mumbai, which were earlier not that accessible, have now suddenly become accessible.
So if you can tell, how do you maintain partnerships, or what all things someone should keep in mind when they are getting into a partnership?
Trust and transparency go hand in hand. They are two sides of the same coin.
Which departments are a little bit more important, where daily involvement is more required compared to another departments?
That's a tough one.
कोई भी young लड़का या लड़की है wants to enter real estate, what would be your advice?
Unlike any other industry, one cycle in real estate is 4.5 years. You have to go through at least one cycle to learn everything.
Final question, if you would had to say something to your own 21 self, तो आप क्या बोलोगे?
Savor every moment. Don't be in a hurry. Live one day at a time.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Speaking Real Estate podcast, and today with us we have Chandresh Mehta sir with us from Rustomjee Group, and it's an honor sir to host you here, and really grateful and thankful to have you and your time on such a busy schedule where so many things have to be managed on your end. So thank you so much, I really appreciate it.
My pleasure.
And going to ask you a ton of things today and going to draw a lot of learnings and knowledge from you today. So please be an open book.
Go a bit easy on me.
Sir, I want to start before getting into real estate. What was your journey? Sometimes many people have thought of कि उनको पहले उनके life में कुछ और करना था, but eventually circumstances make them join real estate or something. It's been different for every person, and I want to know what was your dreams, your education, starting with education, and your dream. Was it sure that you want to enter real estate?
Not really, actually. So when I graduated, I finished my MBA, and I had various job offers from the campus, and some of the best probably companies in the country had given me an offer. But I always wanted to branch out on my own in terms of as an entrepreneur. So by the way, I'm a first generation entrepreneur, and we are first generation real estate developers. So हमारी लास्ट 7 पुश्तों में किसी ने बिल्डिंग नहीं बनाया था. But the way we came into this business, I would say it is more fate and less, it's not a thought out, a focused decision, unlike people like you who are second generation, and probably some of the younger generation is now third generation. For them, they have, they're born and brought up with that idea that one fine day they will have to join this business. Unlike you guys, we had no such thought process or such concept. We almost stumbled into this particular business. As luck would have it, the family, Baman's family, had a property in Daisar. In those days, Daisar was back of the beyond. And since civilization was coming towards, and there were a lot of, roads and social utilities as part of the development plan, reservations planned on that particular property, and there was a little bit of pressure also to ensure that development happens. And at that point of time, the thought process was to sell the property and probably, not enter this particular business. Again, if you recollect, way back in 1995, that's when we were looking at selling the property. It was recession. This was immediately post Harshad Mehta and the entire industry, the prices had dropped down to almost 50% of what they were in the peak. And the thought process was that let us not be in any hurry to sell a property. Let's wait and watch till the market improves, because whoever is going to buy the property is going to pay the money from the revenues of the project. And while we were uh, trying to sell the property, we met a lot of architects, developers, consultants, channel partners, brokers, and we realized that there is some amount of chaos in this business. The way things get done, not the best way. And wherever there is chaos, there is an opportunity. Uh, so we were like 26, 27, and we approached the family that let us, give us an opportunity to develop this. Uh, Imagine it's your family property. You go to the family, you are 26, 27, with no prior experience, no qualification. So I'm an electrical engineer, Baman is a production engineer. So nobody knew civil engineering, nobody knew architecture, and as I said, no experience. So obviously the family would have taken us with some amount of skepticism. But fortunately for us, the entire property was divided into two parts by a road. On one side of the property was one side of the road was a larger property. The other side of the road was a smaller property, around 2,125 square meters. So the family said, "You take this plot, do whatever you want to do with it, leave alone the rest of the property." And that's how we started. The first building that we uh, built was stilt ground plus 8-9 floors, two wings, around 54 apartments, about 60,000 square feet of construction area, and that's how we started.
So during that time, how was it getting into real estate? मतलब how today it is, if someone is not having any background, it will definitely उनको लगेगा कि ये बहुत मुश्किल है, और मुश्किल भी है. पैसा भी चाहिए, नॉलेज भी चाहिए, कनेक्शंस भी चाहिए. तो तब आपका सिचुएशन कैसा था इन टर्म्स ऑफ मनी, कनेक्शंस, एक्सपीरियंस, नॉलेज?
So, so if I take you 30 years back, uh, the glamour that you see, the professionalism that you see in this industry today was not there. So when I told my peers, my friends from MBA, that I'm venturing into real estate, they were aghast, because those days real estate used to have this connotation which was extremely negative, and only a particular type of people used to be in that particular business. uh, no professionals would want to touch uh, real estate. But that was at that point of time. I think so. Yes, from my peers, there was huge amount of uh, skepticism. भाई क्या कर रहा है? Are you sure this is what you want to do? In terms of experience, we had none. In terms of qualification, again, we had none. Whatever we have learned in the last 30 years has been taught by people from this industry: architects, real estate consultants, brokers, fellow developers, uh, civil engineers. So, all that we did, I think, was to keep an open mind and learn. And I believe that's the secret sauce, if somebody has to ask me.
During that time, all three of you came together in this particular venture, and if I have known some stories of partnerships and aware of how difficult it is to maintain partnerships in other cases, whereas in Rustomjee, you, Baman sir, Percy sir, all have set a benchmark and a way to someone to look up to in terms of maintaining partnerships and moving ahead for almost 3 decades today. And it is really, really inspiring. So, if you can tell, how do you maintain partnerships, or what all things someone should keep in mind when they are getting into a partnership?
trust and transparency go hand in hand. They are two sides of the same coin. So and you cannot have one without the other, and that is what we have maintained in the last 3 decades, and that's the core DNA as far as Rustomjee is concerned. We are a extremely transparent and open organization, not only among the three of us, but with all stakeholders, uh, including our employees, our customers, our vendors, suppliers, contractors, and this is and now we have done joint ventures with so many fellow developers, landowners, and in redevelopment space with housing societies. Uh, so one trait which has ensured that we have got success uh, across these stakeholders is our openness, our ability to be transparent, and not violate the trust. I think that is one thing that is the bedrock of any relationship. And yes, of course, there would be difference of opinion if there are three extremely capable, intelligent individuals who come together, uh, and uh, there will be difference in opinion, but you need to have a proper framework to resolve differences. Once we take a decision, then we are married to that decision. Then our individual opinions don't matter much. Then we then focus on execution of that decision. So this is by and large how we've ensured that we are stuck together.
Any situations or experiences you can share where, or not even experiences, but some cases where you can maybe give some ideas where what feels right and what doesn't feel right? Like in our past experience, we had experience with partnerships, but thankfully, not having some partnerships anymore, and it feels a good decision today. So it depends a lot on सब person to person's case और सबके लिए क्या आगे future में important है.
So see, look, there is no right, no wrong, and it depends upon your own nature, your own way of doing things. Our way of doing things is being collaborative. So we would like to take everybody together. Uh, we believe that there's this huge amount of strength when people with complementary skills come together. The like it's like playing an orchestra. While you can play solo, the kind of music that you can create with an orchestra is altogether of a different level. So we believe that if you want to make good music, it's very important to learn how to play in an orchestra.
Right. Also, there are multiple, much more advantages of also working as a team of three strong individual players compared to one. So, if you can shed light on advantages of having partnerships.
So, like for example, see in life, not every day you can run with the same level of energy, the same level of enthusiasm. There are good days and there are bad days. And while there are bad days, you are you are assured that there is somebody else uh, who's going to take the ball and run. So so that is the comfort that you get, that when you are down, there is somebody else who's willing to shoulder the responsibility and ensure that things don't go haywire. I think that's a uh, very big advantage. Then we can, you know, every person has a blind spot, and those blind spots probably you can't see them. Somebody else can see them. So that's the second advantage. Third, since we have unique skills, we have taken that part of the business, which uh, which suits the skill that one has. So while Baman is very good in, you know, and he's the face of the organization, he's very good at PR. Uh, Finance and law is something that he understands. So he's taken up that. I understand uh, construction more than the other two. So that is what I'm overseeing. And Percy is awesome in sales and marketing. So that's what he does.
Perfect. Very well. If we can talk about the portfolio of projects of Rustomjee, where Rustomjee is doing excellent in luxury development, also at the same time doing redevelopment projects and in volumes, and also doing plotted developments in Kasara. So, for what is the vision of Rustomjee in venturing into multiple asset classes and different kinds of development?
So as you know, real estate is cyclical business, and how you the cycle pans out, different categories become the mainstay. Today we are in the up cycle, so obviously premium, super premium is in vogue. When the cycle turns, probably aspiration, mid mass, and affordable will start becoming in vogue. So that is the nature of the business, and you need to be ready as a real estate company to weather this entire cycle. That's one part. Second, every business requires some amount of stability. So the stability or the numbers definitely do come from affordable and the mid mass and the aspiration space. That constitutes close to around 60% of the market by value. So it is important that you are also present in that segment. And so that's how you de-risk, and that is why we are present in different segments. Also, we are present in different geographies. So we are present in the western suburb, we are present in the eastern suburbs, we are in Thana, now Dombivli. We are present in plotted development, we are present in luxury development. This is our way to diversify the risk.
I feel this is the best way to get the benefit if something is not working and manage the whole organization's cash flows.
So I'll tell you how and why we are doing this and how we are doing this. We have got CEOs for each of these categories. So while I have a CEO in the affordable, he only
It looks at affordable.
looks at affordable. So the way he looks, he he's more cost focused. In premium and super premium, I have other CEOs who are more value focused.
Right.
So the focus changes depending upon the category you are present in, and so that there is no it's a person who is thinking cost cannot think value. A person who is thinking cost, if I make him, a person who's thinking value, if I make him think cost, he'll never be able to
बहुत डिफिकल्ट होगा मैनेज करने के लिए लग्जरी और
so
कॉस्ट सेविंग.
that is why we have separate teams doing affordable and separate teams doing premium and super premium and luxury.
That is a very thoughtful of doing in a particular way. What is the reason for venturing into plotted developments?
I think land, it's a human thing to own land. Okay. And for quite some time, Mumbaikars did not think that they could own land. Maybe because the infrastructure play in Mumbai and the regions in and around was not up to the mark. With infrastructure improving and the government of Maharashtra putting huge amount of emphasis in putting up new roads and improving connectivity across the length and breadth of the city, the regions outside Mumbai, which were earlier not that accessible, have now suddenly become accessible. And with that, and with upward mobility in terms of, more and more Mumbaikars are owning cars, and the latest number is we have more than 53 lakh cars in the city, and our average is what, around 2700 cars per kilometer. So with that kind of mobility, I think land has now suddenly become uh, approachable or in the grasp of the common man. And we see that that desire was always there to own a piece of land. Now that is, the ability also has come in. So I think plotted development is going to have a good future as far as the MMR region is concerned.
Definitely, and the way Rustomjee brand also gets attached to a particular development, it gets eyes on a particular development and it works by its own. Congratulations for the GTB Nagar
Oh my God.
development and also the Lokhandwala development that has been recently announced, and also has been excellent performance in the Q1 of this year as well. I want to know what is the future vision of Rustomjee Group in terms of developments 3 years, 5 years down the line? Is it within Mumbai only? Are you looking to expand outside Bombay also in other cities?
So in at Rustomjee, we pay a huge amount of attention and focus to what the brand is able to deliver, and we would like to protect the experience for the end consumer both across the territories that we are present in and across time and over the years. And hence the focus is on ensuring that the customer experience, both in terms of his experience in dealing with Rustomjee and also the quality of the product that we deliver to him, uh, that experience does not suffer. So yes, we are putting in processes to ensure that uh, when we scale and when we go to these new territories, whether they are within Mumbai or outside, this experience is not compromised. Uh, yes, we are looking at other territories. It's not that uh, we don't want to venture outside, but we are born in a market which is not only wide but also deep. Uh, MMR, as you know, constitutes close to around 42% of the recognized residential real estate of the country by value. And being born in this market, uh, have just scraped the barrel. I'm just scraped the surface. So I have the rest of the barrel to go through. Even with the stupendous numbers that we have done in the previous financial year, we're still 1% of the market. So we have huge amount of headroom, and we are a dominant brand in this market. And MMR is just not one homogeneous market; it is 9 or 10 markets in one. First, we would like to be present across these markets before we start other territory. We understand this market, we understand the consumer, we understand the ecosystem. Yes, we have made a small play in Nagpur uh, because we believe that, and Nagpur incidentally is having the similar infrastructure story that Mumbai has seen in the last 10 years. Huge amount of money is being spent on infrastructure in Nagpur, and we believe that wherever infrastructure goes, development has to follow. And that is what gives us the confidence that yes, Nagpur will do well because the quantum of infrastructure that is being added to the city. We have made a small play uh, and with a GDV of around 1000 crores. Uh, Hopefully, it would be a nice experience. Then we will continue in that market.
इंटरेस्टिंग आई फील जो थॉट है कि ये मार्केट में ही ग्रो करने के लिए इतनी सारी अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ है बॉम्बे में itself that a lot of development potential is still there to reach a saturation level, and being a dominant player and readily known to the people and public in Bombay, definitely makes sense to exploit the benefits here in Bombay itself than exploring other cities. And definitely Nagpur's justice is doing well, which supports your development in Nagpur as well. Chandresh sir, I want to know about how do you manage a team, how do you build the team and keep it moving along with your own momentum, because at times जब founder और entrepreneur होता है they are on track for what they want to do और vision continuously evolve होता जाता है, update होता जाता है, और कई बार टीम मेंबर्स जो होते हैं दे आर नॉट एबल टू अलाइन विद दैट स्पीड ऑल्सो एंड समटाइम्स विजन ऑल्सो, तो उनको कैसे साथ में लेके चलने का और सेम स्पीड पे दौड़ाने का?
So you first need to understand there are certain things that are people driven, there are certain things which are process driven. If you think that people can replace processes, it's not going to happen. Scaling cannot happen. So, first, what you need to do before you actually try to scale is to ensure that you put in robust processes to take care of the mundane stuff. And that's where most of the organizations falter. But once you do that, once you ensure that you have robust processes helping the team, I think then you have to leave it to the individual's creativity and the ingenuity to take care of the one-off things which may come across. So while I have CEOs, I also have functional heads who ensure that they are the true owners of the processes, and so they ensure that the processes are getting followed, and when those processes get followed, results are automatic. That leaves for the key decision makers enough bandwidth to ensure and take care of growth, think out of the box, take care of any issues which may crop up, basically firefighting. So that leaves enough bandwidth to them, to do justice to the job. So this is by and large we ensure that with growth, efficiency does not get compromised.
I feel beautifully said कि process पहले set कर लो and that will stay the same no matter what is going outside that process, which will be taken care by the senior level management. And once the process is set, then outside firefighting can be done by the senior management. Great businesses are driven by great vision with great people. And a huge role passion has to play when you are building such huge businesses. I want to know कि आपको drive क्या करता है? Every day when you walk into the office, ready to execute for the day, get the things done.
I think success is never about ability, it's only about passion. And as I said, we stumbled upon this business, but once we entered this business, I think the sheer joy of creating something, seeing that building coming up, seeing the happy faces when you give the delivery to your end consumer, uh, and we still keep in touch with the developments that we have delivered way back, probably since our Dicer days. So I think that is a unique sense of accomplishment that you get, uh, and that is in my opinion is what is driving us. So yes, if it was just about work, I think we would have got bored quite a while back. But every project gives us new challenges, uh, gives us new opportunity to put up something new, something unique, something that will give us some joy and pride. So I think that ability to, to do that day in and day out, year on year, I think that is what drives us. And without passion, I don't think, when you are passionate about something, then it is no longer work. So when it is not work, whether you, then monetary benefits is not your objective. Your, of course it is important, and we ensure that every of our project there is meets a particular criteria in terms of numbers. That's the hygiene, and I have an entire CFO and the business development team, and we have an internal IC kind of a concept, where even if we are passionately driven for a particular project, there is enough and more sense in the organization that we don't go overboard. But having said that, without that passion, without that drive, without that desire to, create the next beautiful thing, uh, uh, we would not have come here, reached here, uh, to the level that we have reached.
मेरे को प्रोजेक्ट सिलेक्शन के बारे में पूछना है, where now as a brand a lot of offers might be coming on daily basis for development, but you are very mindful in the kind of projects you do and build. So how do you choose the particular projects that you want to do, or what is the criteria selection for doing projects for Rustomjee?
We by and large never give the best commercial offer. I mean, if you look at the developments that we have taken, there are always somebody willing to give something a little bit more. But we are extremely conscious of the kind of development that we undertake. We go to locations where we can, where again, as I said, infrastructure is moving in. We see huge amount of value discovery that would happen once people get used to that infrastructure. In the last 10 years, with the kind of infrastructure, connectivity, money that has poured into connectivity, I think we're going to see a different Mumbai. Once all these metros, all these roads get completed, it's going to be a different city. And we by and large go to locations which have yet to mature. So when we entered Bandra East, nobody wanted to go to Bandra East. And we came up with the first project in Bandra East in 2010. Now today, Bandra East, the entire Kalanagar, BKC Annex, is the golden mile. So same with DN Nagar. When we went to DN Nagar, people told us you're on the wrong side of the Jew circle. But today, some of the elements commands a premium over probably some of the apartments or the buildings in the 14 Jew societies. But that's the kind of vision that we had. You can create this out here, which other Jew societies don't have to offer. I mean, ample parking, lifestyle amenities like a huge size gym, swimming pool, which is not just a puddle. So, I mean, those are the stuff that people do want in that location, but it is not available. So, we always go where we see an opportunity, where there is an opportunity of value discovery. And that's how we select projects. We are in no mad hurry to acquire projects. Having said that, we have our business plan and annual operating plan. We have a target that this year we're going to acquire projects of this quantum and this magnitude, and we work at our own pace.
So it's about building landmarks and projects and locations for the future than just acquiring projects.
True.
I want to talk about MOEF, which issue has been there since past few months and has got a lot of stalled projects in pipeline. Like, it has stalled more like around 800 to 900 projects in Mumbai, and some out of these many projects are at the stage of demolished, where people are outside their homes also. So what is your opinion firstly about MOEF, and second, when all of a sudden such a huge launch traction will come all together at one point of time, so what strategy is there in mind to overcome so many launches and come out as a star?
I think I have no opinion as far as MOF is concerned. I mean, that's the law of the land. You have to follow it. Having said that, I think implementation of the law could have been done more efficiently. But I think whenever it does open, and it has to open because a lot of lives are on standstill as we speak, especially in redevelopment, whether it is slum redevelopment or a society redevelopment. A lot of projects, as you said, are stuck and a lot of lives have been put on hold. So eventually it will pan out. I think even if supply does come in, we have to understand from the customer point of view. Customer point of view, not all projects uh, will do have the same kind of traction. Projects which are better designed, uh, keeping the customer in the focus, with developers having a proven track record of delivery, I think market share will graduate toward that, despite the fact that there are multiple launches. So since era, and if you check the track record since 2016, huge amount of consolidation has happened in the industry, and I believe that consolidation will continue. Uh, Customers will move towards developers who have a proven track record, even if they have protection under era. Uh, it has already happened in cities like Bangalore. If you see Bangalore, I think that the top 10% of the developers constitute close to around 60 to 70% of the market. It has yet to happen in Mumbai. But in my opinion, it is inevitable. And so the projects which are designed well are well capitalized in terms of ability to sustain any situation, like a situation of oversupply. What will happen? You will have a confused customer, transactions will not happen. You should have the financial wherewithal to
Go through that.
go through that uh, shop. And hence well capitalized developers, branded developers with a proven track record will continue to flourish and grow.
आई फील ये जो आपने पॉइंट बोला अबाउट बैंगलोर की वहाँ पर कैसे few major developers are dominating in the market, same will happen in Bombay in some time or later, because I feel cluster projects का जब delivery start हो जाएगा, it will be difficult to sell flats in a standalone building where amenities won't be there, or the product has no comparison in terms of a project which is a big layout and amenity with many much more features.
True, absolutely true. And today, especially post COVID, uh, uh, customers have realized that home is just not a place where you come home and sleep.
Yes.
It is a place you entertain, it's a place where you work out from, it's a place where you study. So, a lot of things which were earlier happening outside the home have now started happening within the home or within the community. And I guess, and hence the emphasis on communities. And we at Rustomjee know that, and we just don't build homes; we build communities.
Chandresh, so there are so many departments in a real estate company, at least 10 or more in great companies. And I want to know from your perspective ki which departments are a little bit more important, where daily involvement is more required compared to another departments.
That's a tough one. So I guess I think real estate is like an engine, and just as an engine has multiple cylinders and will not run if all the cylinders are not firing. Similarly, all departments are important. I would not say I would not single out any one department which is important or not important. And every department has the ability to get you in a situation of stress. Uh, the idea is to ensure that the eye is always on the ball, whether it is construction. Uh, things have to happen almost on a daily basis. मेरे यहाँ एक हमारे यहाँ एक मोटो है, आज का काम आज ही होना है, नहीं हुआ तो आज ही मेरे को पता चलना चाहिए कि ये नहीं हुआ. So, and that goes for all departments, whether it is licensing, when you're talking about approvals, you're talking about purchase, procurement, you're talking about architecture, you're talking about construction. The motto is your day is not over till today's work is not done. And in real estate, more in real estate than in any other business, time is of more importance than cost. And across the board, if we have to prioritize, it is first time and then cost.
Definitely agreeing that every department is important and every department has its own duties and should do their work. What is the mechanism or a way that you have built for functioning? What does your week look like, your day look like, your routine?
So, as we have CEOs, so there are a couple of things that we three of us do collaboratively, and then we have our individual uh, strengths, area of strength, and functional uh, areas that we are good at, which we oversee. Uh, so, what are the things that we do collaboratively? Design is one thing that we are very, finicky about. Uh, and because we believe that once that is frozen, then it will stay for the life of the project for eternity. So maximum time, maximum input, if we have to give, we do that at the design stage. uh, then business development is again another thing that is collaborative in nature. Every project that we undertake uh, is brought to the IC, internal committee that we have, where it is discussed threadbare, both in terms of why we are doing it and, of course, the financials. So, financials are the hygiene. If it does not meet a particular criteria in terms of numbers, we don't even touch the project. But beyond that, what are the qualitative factors which are pushing us uh, to take that project? Could it be infrastructure, or could it be a new location that we are not present in, or in an existing location to augment the supply that we have in that existing location? So there are certain qualitative factors also uh, we evaluate to ensure that we take the project for the right reasons. Uh, we are not in any race. We don't have any intention to be the largest or the biggest or the uh, number one, number two, number three. Is not. We are not in that game. Whatever we take, it has to be meaningful to us. It has to add value to that location and value to the organization. Is the reason, is the qualitative factors that we uh, look at before we acquire a project. So this is a collaborative process. Other than that, of course, we have weekly reviews to ensure that the eye is on the ball. It's not only important that the team knows uh, and that they have to do the job, but the team also has to know that there is somebody overseeing, so that that consciousness is there at the back of the
Pressure is
mind.
maintained and
कोई देख रहा है.
barabar.
It is only for that. So we have weekly reviews, we have monthly reviews, we have quarterly reviews, we have MIS coming to us, key MIS, which gives us uh, tells us what is the health of the organization, what is the health of the project.
Chandresh sir, you are a construction master, and I am personally very new to this space in the industry as well. So, if you can lay out a basic roadmap for me or anyone who is getting into real estate and wanting to focus on the construction part of a development, so how would you suggest a person to pursue that?
So as I told you earlier, I'm an electrical engineer. I had no knowledge of civil engineering. I mean, seven except my first year of engineering, where I did some amount of engineering drawing. I had no exposure uh, to any part of engineering other than I had more affinity towards computers rather than the brick and mortar. So when I came into this business, I still do remember my first day on the site. I had one diploma engineer who had what 2 years of experience. He told me, "Saab, बाहर metal का गाड़ी आया है, checking करना है." So okay, I went outside, looked here there. I didn't find any. So I asked him, "किधर है?" He said, सामने खड़ा है सर. So I said, "Then I saw a truck which had stone in it." So I said, इसमें तो पत्थर भरा है. Now imagine I'm an electrical engineer. My concept of metal is like it's something that when you strike it, it has a sonorous sound. It can be drawn into wires, been into sheets. So that was my concept of metal. And here, that's when he told me my first civil engineering lesson. Sir, civil engineering में पत्थर को metal बोलते हैं.
Okay.
So now, if I did not, now again, I am an engineer from IIT, so massive ego. I know it all. So my first thing that I did was internalize my ego. After that, I had only one rule. अगर समझ में नहीं आया तो सवाल पूछो. Ask questions. And that's all that I did. I kept on asking those idiot questions. And whatever I know today, and I don't claim to be any expert on construction, but whatever little I know today is thanks to the engineers who have answered those questions. So if you internalize your ego, and if you keep an open mind and you ask questions, the world is willing to teach you.
Right. 100% will take this as a lesson and will make sure that every time I am having any thought without any hesitation or any ego, will definitely ask that simple, stupid question because it will help me or any other person who is applying this rule. I heard that you are a lot lately into upgrading technology, AI, what new best software systems should be implemented for maintaining the health and keeping the organization also up to date. So I want to know your opinion on softwares, AI.
I think the entire industry and across industries, things are going to change and change drastically. What technology has been doing for quite some time, maybe silently, is removing that middle layer. So So in any organization, there are three layers. There are people who are actually doing the jobs, who are actually using their hands and legs, which is in our case, uh, the contractors and the labor who's actually using their hands and legs to get the job done, whether they are masons, carpenters, plumbers, electricians. And then there's a top layer, which is the layer of creators, like architects, RCC consultants, plumbing consultants, people who are actually doing the designing part. And there is an entire middle layer of these, right from site supervisor to site engineer, people who understand the language of the creators and are able to convert that language into the language which the labor or the people who are actually doing the work understand. So while the labor does not understand an engineering drawing, ये सिंगल लाइन का मतलब क्या है, ये डबल लाइन का मतलब क्या है, this is a 6-inch wall, this is a 4-inch wall, all that which a plan has, which the architect has created in the language that he knows, the site team is able to convert that language into a language which the labor knows. Now this entire middle layer eventually is going to get replaced by tech, and that is what the tech is doing. The sooner you understand that and sooner you prepare your organization for it, the better is your edge over competition. So it is all about improving efficiencies, especially where you are dealing with people. Scaling up would is by and large at the cost of efficiency. Unless you invest in processes and you invest in training on those processes, your efficiency is bound to suffer, because your scaling up is now dependent upon your ability to keep on getting more and more people. When you take more and more people, you're obviously taking from the outside environment. How much do they know? What do they know? And what of that they are going to implement on your side without your processes being set and your training in place? They will continue to do whatever they have been doing elsewhere, which may not work for you. So you have to ensure that while you're scaling up, your efficiency does not get compromised. It's going to be a challenge. And how do you do that? By using more and more tech to ensure that your processes become idiot proof. And and that is exactly what we are doing at Rustomjee. Since so we are probably one of the first real estate developers to move over to the BIM environment. Now BIM is followed across the board for all projects. It gives us a couple of advantages. Any coordination issues that we have, which eventually would lead to rework, beam passing through probably a pipeline passing through a beam, or an electrical conduit passing through a particular wall. uh, these kind of clashes you get to know well in advance, so any kind of rework is avoided. You have a better coordinated drawing. Your vendors, whether it's your electrical contractor, your plumber, have better clarity in terms of kya karne ka hai. Any design change, ab initio what is its impact on cost and time. So all these benefits will go towards improving your efficiency. Also, you have to standardize your processes. Whether you're building in Dombivli, or you're building in Virar, or you're building in Thana, or eventually in Nagpur, or anywhere else, you have to ensure that it is the same way the tile is being laid, the same way block work is being done. It's the same way you're doing all your plumbing or electrical or any of the trades. So it is very important to ensure that if that does not happen, that customer experience that I was talking about will suffer, and with that your brand will suffer. So it's very important to uh, standardize these processes, and that can be done only through tech.
100% आई फील ऑर्गेनाइजेशन का ग्रोथ स्टॉप हो जाएगा आज की डेट में अगर टेक पे अपग्रेडिंग कंटिन्यूसली ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की चालू नहीं है तो. Now, moving on to any younger generation, any new generation, maybe first generation, second generation, कोई भी young लड़का है या लड़की है 21-year old and wants to enter real estate, what would be your advice?
Run. No, having said that, see, this is becoming a more and more, as I said, it is, I mean, even if I had to enter real estate today, 30 years back, it was a lot easier, I think, because the opportunity was there, because uh, the huge amount of chaos was there. Wherever, as I said, wherever there is chaos, there's an opportunity. I think over a period of time, the chaos has kept on coming down. And with that, so that is why you see more corporates are now entering this business. And the competition is now going to come from these large corporates who otherwise could not have been able to function under that erstwhile chaotic environment. Now that the environment is more stable or less chaotic, I think it has now become a serious business. Earlier, it used to be you have land, make a brochure, set up shop, become a developer. That is no longer the case. I think for the new generation, if they are serious about real estate, first you need to be passionately driven, because your competition is with people who are passionately driven. Second, you should have an open mind and willing to learn. Third, first listen, then talk. Big problem with this generation is they will first talk and then listen. So I think somewhere they have to hold their horses and wait. First, first learn what is happening, and before they decide to change everything. Uh, my very good prof in my earlier days, my college days, told me, don't try and fix something which is not broken. So first understand what is broken, and then that itself is a big process. That for that you require patience. Unlike any other industry, one cycle in real estate is 4.5 years. From the first rupee going in to the last rupee coming out, the minimum time it takes is 4.5 years. So you have to go through at least one cycle to learn everything, and then you should then have the opportunity or have the conviction to suggest any change. Without going through that one cycle end to end, I think you will not be doing justice to
The change that
the
you
change.
want to bring. अनुभव तो हमेशा ही आगे रहेगा.
See, in other industries, they have a benefit because, let's say, in FMCG, one cycle is 3 months.
बरोबर. Yes.
So within a year, you can have 4 cycles. That would give you enough experience to talk about any change. But that is not the case in real estate. In real estate, you have to go through that one cycle from end to end to actually figure out what exactly is happening.
Chandresh, so one book or belief or something that happened in your life at any stage that changed something in you.
Goal by Ellie Goddard. awesome book. Anybody in manufacturing or projects should read that book.
Goal.
Goal.
100% will give a read. Now, final question. If you would had to say something to your own 21 self, मतलब जब आप 21 years के थे, अगर आपको आपने आज का एक्सपीरियंस 30 years 40 years का जो ले लिया है, उसके बाद अगर आपको वापस आपके 21-year-old को कुछ बोलना है तो आप क्या बोलोगे?
Savor every moment. Don't be in a hurry. Live one day at a time. And enjoy that experience. Somewhere along the, you are in a hurry to do the next thing and the next thing without actually savoring what you are currently experiencing. So ये थोड़ा ज्ञान थोड़े सालों के बाद आता है. As they say, live in the present, neither in the past nor in the future.
आई फील ये बहुत हैवी स्टेटमेंट है, बिकॉज रोज ऐसा फील होता है कि ये करना है, वो करना है, ऐसा करना है, वैसा करना है, बट देन वी फॉरगेट टू फील द मोमेंट एंड एन्जॉय द प्रोसेस, एंड द टाइम पासेस एंड देन यू रियलाइज कि इतना आगे चले गए, पीछे एन्जॉय करना बाकी है अभी.
So enjoy the process.
100%.
Enjoy whatever is happening. The good also, the bad also, because that will also pass.
Yes. Thank you so much, Chandresh Sir, for your time and giving out so many learnings. It was great to have you on the show as well, and feeling very grateful कि आपके साथ बैठने मिला और आपसे कुछ चीज़ें सीखने मिली. Thank you so much for giving
Thank
your
you.
time.
My pleasure. And thank you for having me on your podcast.